Howdy, folks. I don't mean to blow your socks off, but every once in a while, I kind of have that effect on people. When I read the scripture verses, all of a sudden something jumps off the page for them. Even though we've read these verses about 1,000,000 times. So what I'm going to do is I am going to read Mark 13 and talk about no one knows. But after this video, you'll know. So this is kind of interesting because this kind of causes people to stumble a little bit. They're like, no one knows, no man knows, no angel knows, not even the Son of God, only the Father knows. And other versions will say something like, no one knows except only the Father knows. Not even the Son knows, just the Father. Father God only knows. And it just depends what version you're reading. So this is why I love the King James Bible. Love. So if you like this kind of thing, if you want to go hardcore here, we're going to go deep. We're going to go deep. So hopefully this will make sense. Let's read it. Verse 5, because we're talking about signs of the end of time. So I have to read this chapter to put this in context. And then hopefully this will make sense to you. And as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples saith unto him, Master, see what manner of stones, what buildings are here. And Jesus answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he that sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple. Sorry, it's hard to read with my phone and this camera here, or with this holding the book. I'm actually reading this through my, reading it from the phone, if that makes sense. So, verse 2, let's just read this again here. And Jesus answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another, and shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs when all these things shall be fulfilled? And Jesus answered them. And what's interesting is in the Gospel of Matthew, it's a little bit different as well, because you don't see the Son of Man mentioned at all in the Gospel of Matthew. And in the Gospel of Luke, Luke basically says, pray that you be worthy of escape before all these things come to pass. So it's a little bit of a different version in the Gospel of Luke. And we got to remember that Luke actually hung around with Paul. And Luke was also written probably about 20, 30 years after the Pauline epistles. All right, so let's see. And Jesus answering them began to say, Take heed lest any man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. So that's going to come, but that's not the end. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, and we have a war right now in Israel, and it's kind of a strange one. I got to admit, something fishy is going on in Israel. I can't put my finger on it. I don't want to be a conspiracy person because I know Hamas is attacking Israel, but something smells fishy, and I'm onto it. So hopefully I can figure this thing out over the next few days or so, because now there's starting to be talk of maybe this was a massive planned attack by Hamas. Maybe they had outside help, outside weapons. from maybe other organizations, other countries. Man, that could go wildfire if that ever comes out that some country other than Iran. So everybody goes to Iran. Iran. I have a lot of friends in Iran. I have friends from Ukraine. I have friends from Russia. I have friends from China. I have friends from all over the world. And it seems like it's always the government they're doing something crazy. It's not the people. The people are beautiful. So we have to get that. It's not the people. Yes, people do evil things, but there's also leaders that are doing corrupt things. And I can't wait for them to be found out. But something's fishy with this. Anyways, let's continue on. Verse 7, when ye shall hear wars, rumors of wars. Another word for rumor is like a lie, like a made-up story. Something make-believe, if you will. Be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Can you imagine if it was something like some country that we didn't expect that actually funded Hamas instead of Iran, and it comes out and they said, actually, this country over here helped fund these weapons. We gave them weapons and then they used it. They sold it underground. That would be horrible if that happened. I hope that doesn't happen. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines, troubles, and these shall be the beginnings of sorrows. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils and in synagogues, and shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. All right, verse 11, bringing this baby home. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given to you in that hour, in that moment. See, there's that word hour again. People are like, no one knows the hour, the day, and all this. They get hung up on that. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour. So in that moment, as you're before these leaders, don't think about what you're going to say. Don't practice. Don't premeditate. Nothing. Let the Holy Spirit speak for you in that hour. Now brother shall betray brother to death, and father the son, and children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. This is key right here. In parentheses, whoever's reading this, Mark put this in. Mark hung out with Paul. He put this in, saying, let him that readeth understand. So pay attention now. Coming up here, verse 15. So let them that be in Judea flee the mountains, and let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein or take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take his garment. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. It's going to suck in that day. That's aside from that, but that's not what it's saying here. But it's going to be a terrible time. It's going to suck when you have a child and when you're on the Sabbath day. Why? Because the Jews don't believe in traveling too far during the Sabbath. So this is talking about those days now. It's going to be a terrible time. Pray that your flight be not in the winter, for in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation of God, which created unto this time, neither shall be. This is interesting as well. So in those days shall be affliction, but is not from the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. It's talking about two things here. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. And if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Christ, or Lo, there he is, believe him not, for false Christs, false prophets shall rise and shall shew signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. But take heed, behold, I have not foretold you all things. I have foretold you all things. But in those days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And this is not the resurrection. This is not the rapture. This is Jesus Christ, the Son of God, coming in the clouds with all his host, all his angels, and most likely with us too, coming with him. And then shall he send his angels and gather the elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of earth to the uttermost part of heaven. This is quoting, I believe it's Deuteronomy 29 or 30. This is talking about bringing people back to their land, back to Israel. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. This generation that's going through all this stuff. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Meaning, this is not going to finish, because heaven and earth will not pass away. Not in the way that we know. People think, oh, heaven is going to get destroyed. God's throne is going to get destroyed in heaven, disintegrated, and his footstool is going to get destroyed. That's not what that means. It's an expression saying, if heaven and earth were to pass away, my words would pass away. It's almost like saying, if you could figure out the width of heaven, then I will forget about Israel and Jacob. I will forget my covenant. If you could figure out the depth of the earth, then I will forget about Jacob. I will forget my promises to Jacob. This is an expression that Jesus is saying. Heaven and earth shall pass away, almost like saying, it's almost like, how do you say it? I swear on my mother's grave, I will never eat chocolate chip cookies again, or whatever. I don't know. It's an expression that we say. You shouldn't say that on your mother's grave or whatever it is. That's crazy. But here, this is an expression. Heaven and earth will pass away before my words pass away. That's all that means. Okay, that's all that means. All right, so verse 32. This is why we came here, right? Verse 32. Hopefully you'll watch this again, but you have to kind of read the whole chapter in context to get this. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch ye and pray, for ye know not when the time is. Did you catch it? Let's keep going. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even or at midnight, or at a cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. So, what's he saying here? Do you think the master doesn't know when he's coming? Yes, he knows when he's coming. In this instance here, he's saying, look, keep watch. I'm not going to tell you when I'm coming, but watch. So if Jesus is saying that here, clearly it means that he knows when he's coming, and I'll prove it. Clearly he knows when he's coming. Let's go back here. Read this. This will blow your mind away. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, comma, neither the Son, but the Father. So, another way of looking at this is an alteration of either. See the word either right there? It's got an N in front of it, either. it's basically just saying you can't have one without the other. You can't have the Son knowing, but the Father only by himself. And you can't have the Father know without the Son. That's all that means. It's not the Son not knowing. It's neither the Son but the Father, as in you can't have one without the other. And we know this. Jesus said, if you see the Father, you see me. If you see me, you see the Father. Don't you know? Guys, I've been with you so long and you don't know this? So this is an expression, neither the Son but the Father. You can't have one knowing without the other. Another way of saying this would be, let's just say, for example, someone were to say, man, I don't go watch movies anymore. I don't like watching horror movies. Then a person listening to you, a friend, would say, me neither. You get it? Or it could be something like, I don't go there anymore. Me neither. You're saying the same thing. You're on the same page. Or maybe somebody's asking you a question and you answer, I saw no one. Me neither. That means the same thing. You saw no one as well as that person. You're in line with what he said. Sometimes you could even say, what he said. How about this? I'm so bored. I'm going nowhere today. Me neither. That's what a good friend would say. It's almost like, I'm going nowhere. Me too. That's what this is. It's not the Son doesn't know, but only the Father. It's neither the Son, but the Father. It's almost like the Father's like saying, me neither. I don't know. I know this is a bit of a head spin, but if you think about this long enough, I've done the research, I've done the words. Here's another example here. Maybe this will bring it home a little bit. If we go over here, for he hath put all things under his feet. So the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. For he hath put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted. As in, it is plain as day that we're not talking about God the Father, putting God the Father under Jesus Christ. That's all Paul is saying here. It's Old English, but if you read a corrupt NIV or any other version, they're going to insert except the Father. No one knows, not even the Son, except the Father. And it's gonna mislead you down a different bunny path, and you're going to be all confused. So when you see this here, as an example, but when he saith all things are put under him, Paul's explaining it. It is manifest, it is made plainly that he is accepted. Who's the he that is accepted? It's God, which did put all things under him. So God put everything under Jesus. Jesus put everything under his feet. But when he says all things, he's talking about everything except for God his Father. And when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that God may be all in all. So that's what is going on here. This is what Paul is saying. Saying just in plain English, look, we understand that when Jesus says he's putting all things, he's subduing all things, he's not talking about his Father. It's everything below Jesus Christ. And then when Jesus Christ is done subduing everything, he's going to go before his Father and submit everything to God his Father. That way God is all in all. That's all that's saying. So the same thing with neither is no one knows. Back to Mark 13 again. And hopefully this will make more sense, and then I'll just wrap this up here. Because I'm telling you, this is a game changer. This is why you come to this channel. All right, so again, let's read it again. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. So the Son doesn't know without the Father. The Father doesn't know without the Son. Remember what I said? I don't go there anymore. Me neither. Same idea. And this is Old English, by the way. Old English. So hopefully you got something out of this. Again, this is Mark chapter 13, verse 32. Hope you have a fantastic day. See ya.